If you're over 60 and struggling to maintain your muscle strength, what I'm about to share could change everything. There's a common food sitting in most kitchens right now that many seniors are avoiding because of outdated myths, and this mistake is quietly robbing them of muscle mass and weakening their hearts. I've seen countless patients suffer unnecessarily because they believed these old misconceptions. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this food deserves a place on your plate every single day. My name is Dr. Emily Hartman, and I'm a cardiologist and geriatric medicine specialist with over 20 years of experience helping patients navigate the challenges of healthy aging. Throughout my career, I've witnessed firsthand how simple dietary changes can dramatically improve quality of life for older adults. Today, I want to share something that might surprise you about building muscle and protecting your heart after 60. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications so you never miss another health tip made especially for you. If you find this video helpful, please leave your questions and video suggestions in the comments below. I read every single one, and it helps me create more content to support people just like you. Let me tell you about Mr. Roberto Oliveira, a 72-year-old retired accountant from Porto Alegre. Roberto came to my office 2 years ago, visibly frustrated. He'd been trying to stay active, walking every morning in the park near his home, but he noticed something alarming. His pants were looser, but not in a good way. He was losing muscle mass rapidly. His arms looked thinner, his legs felt weaker, and simple tasks like carrying groceries or playing with his grandchildren left him exhausted. What worried me most was his recent blood work showing concerning cholesterol levels and slightly elevated blood pressure. During our conversation, Roberto mentioned something that caught my attention. He'd completely eliminated eggs from his diet 5 years earlier because his previous doctor told him eggs would raise his cholesterol and harm his heart. He genuinely believed he was protecting himself, but instead, he was depriving his body of one of nature's most complete protein sources right when he needed it most. The food we're talking about today is eggs. Yes, eggs. And before you click away thinking you've heard this before, let me explain why eggs are particularly crucial for anyone over 60, and why the science has completely shifted on this topic. For decades, eggs were demonized because of their cholesterol content. People were told to limit eggs to just 1 or 2 per week. But here's what the research now shows, and this is critical. Dietary cholesterol from foods like eggs has minimal impact on blood cholesterol levels for most people. Your liver actually produces most of the cholesterol in your body, and when you eat cholesterol-rich foods, your liver simply adjusts production downward. What matters far more for heart health is the balance of fats you consume and your overall dietary pattern. But let's talk about why eggs are absolute powerhouses for people over 60. First, eggs contain all 9 essential amino acids in the perfect ratios your body needs to build and maintain muscle. This is what we call a complete protein. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass through a process called sarcopenia. After age 30, you can lose 3 to 5% of your muscle mass per decade, and this accelerates after 60. Muscle isn't just about appearance or strength. Your muscles act as your body's metabolic engine, helping regulate blood sugar, supporting bone density, maintaining balance to prevent falls, and even playing a role in immune function. When you lose muscle, everything becomes harder. Getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, maintaining your independence. It's a cascade effect. Here's where eggs become particularly valuable. 1 large egg contains about 6 grams of high-quality protein, along with leucine, an amino acid that acts like a switch to turn on muscle protein synthesis. Think of leucine as the key that unlocks your muscle-building machinery. For older adults, getting adequate leucine at each meal becomes especially important because aging muscles become somewhat resistant to protein. You need more of the right signals to trigger muscle maintenance and growth. Eggs deliver that signal efficiently. Let me share another patient story that illustrates this perfectly. Mrs. Clara Santos, a 68-year-old former teacher from Curitiba, came to see me after a frightening fall in her bathroom. She fractured her wrist and was terrified of falling again. Clara lived alone, and the thought of losing her independence devastated her. When we reviewed her diet, I discovered she was barely getting 40 grams of protein daily, far below the 70 to 80 grams I recommend for someone her size. She'd been living mostly on bread, rice, beans, and vegetables, thinking she was eating healthy. She avoided meat because of digestive issues and never thought about eggs as a protein source. We started a simple plan: 2 eggs every morning, prepared in different ways to keep it interesting, scrambled with vegetables one day, boiled eggs sliced on whole grain toast another day, an omelet with cheese and herbs on weekends. Within 3 months, Clara reported something remarkable. She felt steadier on her feet. Her physical therapist noted improved grip strength and better balance scores. Her energy levels increased, and she no longer felt wiped out by early afternoon. 6 months later, her bone density scan showed slight improvement, and her muscle mass measurements had increased by nearly 4%. Clara told me with tears in her eyes that she felt like she'd gotten part of herself back. She was gardening again, volunteering at her local library, and even started taking dance classes. All of this from such a simple change, anchored by adding eggs to her daily routine. If you're still watching and finding this information valuable, comment below to show me you're with me. Now, let's talk about the heart health benefits, because this is where the story gets even more interesting. Eggs contain nutrients that directly support cardiovascular function in ways that might surprise you. One of the most important is choline, a nutrient that most people have never heard of but that plays a crucial role in heart health. Choline helps regulate homocysteine levels in the blood. Elevated homocysteine is an independent risk factor for cardiovascular disease, potentially even more significant than cholesterol for some people. One large egg provides about 147 milligrams of choline, making eggs one of the best dietary sources available. Eggs also contain lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 antioxidants better known for eye health, but emerging research suggests they also help reduce inflammation in blood vessel walls. Chronic inflammation is now recognized as a major driver of atherosclerosis, the hardening and narrowing of arteries that leads to heart attacks and strokes. Additionally, eggs provide vitamin D, which many older adults are deficient in. Vitamin D deficiency is associated with increased cardiovascular risk, and while eggs aren't a complete solution, they contribute to your overall intake, especially the yolk, which is where most nutrients concentrate. Now, I need to address the elephant in the room. What about cholesterol? This is the question everyone asks. Here's the truth based on current evidence. Multiple large-scale studies over the past 15 years have found no significant association between moderate egg consumption and increased heart disease risk in healthy individuals. The Physicians' Health Study, involving over 20,000 men, found no connection between eating up to 1 egg per day and heart disease risk. Similarly, the Nurses' Health Study, following over 120,000 participants, showed no increased cardiovascular risk from regular egg consumption in healthy people. However, and this is important, there are some exceptions. People with diabetes, or those who already have heart disease, may need to be more cautious and should work with their healthcare provider to determine the right amount for them. Also, what you eat with your eggs matters tremendously. Eggs prepared with excessive butter and served alongside bacon, sausage, and white toast create a very different nutritional picture than eggs cooked with olive oil and paired with vegetables and whole grains. Context matters. Let me tell you about Mr. João Ferreira, a 75-year-old retired bus driver from Belo Horizonte. João had survived a heart attack 3 years before I met him. He was terrified of food, honestly. He'd read so much conflicting information that he barely ate anything except plain rice, steamed vegetables, and skinless chicken breast. He was miserable, losing weight and muscle, and his quality of life was terrible. When I suggested carefully reintroducing eggs into his diet, he looked at me like I'd suggested skydiving. We started very slowly, with 3 eggs per week, monitoring his blood work closely. After 2 months with stable labs, we increased to 5 per week, then 7. His cholesterol remained well controlled with his medication, his HDL good cholesterol actually improved, and most importantly, João started gaining back the muscle and energy he'd lost. He told me he felt like he could actually enjoy eating again. That psychological shift mattered as much as the physical benefits. But if that surprised you, wait until you hear about the role eggs play in brain health. The choline I mentioned earlier isn't just for your heart. It's also a precursor to acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter essential for memory, mood, and muscle control. As we age, maintaining adequate choline intake becomes increasingly important for cognitive function. Some research suggests that higher choline intake is associated with better cognitive performance in older adults. While eggs alone won't prevent dementia, they're part of a dietary pattern that supports brain health alongside cardiovascular and muscular health. It's all connected. Another patient, Mrs. Helena Costa, a 63-year-old seamstress from Florianopolis, came to me complaining of brain fog and difficulty concentrating on her intricate embroidery work. Her memory had become unreliable, and she worried about early dementia. Her diet consisted mainly of bread, coffee, and occasional fish. She ate very little protein and almost no eggs. We worked on increasing her protein intake overall, with eggs at breakfast being the foundation. Within a month, Helena reported clearer thinking. By 3 months, she felt her concentration had returned to what she considered normal. Whether this was purely the eggs or the improved overall nutrition is hard to say, but the combination of quality protein, healthy fats, and brain-supporting nutrients certainly didn't hurt. Now, let's address some practical concerns. How many eggs should you eat? For most healthy adults over 60, consuming 1 to 2 eggs daily is not only safe, but beneficial. Some people can comfortably eat more, while others might need to be more moderate based on individual health factors. The key is to pay attention to how you prepare them. Boiling, poaching, or cooking with minimal healthy fats like olive oil is ideal. Avoid deep frying or cooking with excessive amounts of butter or processed meats. What about egg whites versus whole eggs? This is another common question. While egg whites are pure protein and very low in calories, the yolk is where most of the nutrients live. The choline, vitamin D, lutein, zeaxanthin, and healthy fats are concentrated in that golden center. Unless you have a specific medical reason to avoid dietary fat or cholesterol as directed by your doctor, eating the whole egg gives you the complete nutritional package. Think of it this way. Nature packaged the egg as a complete food designed to nourish a growing chick. That concentrated nutrition is exactly what older adults need to maintain vitality. Let me share one more story that really captures why this matters. Mr. Antonio Silva, an 80-year-old retired mechanic from Rio de Janeiro, lived with his daughter and her family. He'd become increasingly frail and dependent, needing help with basic activities. His daughter brought him to my clinic worried about his rapid decline. Antonio had given up on life, frankly. He felt like a burden to his family. His diet was minimal because he had little appetite. We started a comprehensive approach, but one simple cornerstone was getting protein at every meal, starting with 2 eggs at breakfast. Slowly, over about 4 months, Antonio began to change. He regained some muscle mass. His energy improved. He started helping around the house again, doing small repairs, playing with his grandchildren. His daughter called me in tears one day to tell me her father had fixed the gate that had been broken for months. It might sound like a small thing, but to Antonio, it meant he had purpose again. He wasn't just existing, he was living. That's what adequate nutrition, including sufficient high-quality protein from foods like eggs, can do. It's not magic, and it's not a cure-all, but it provides your body the building blocks it needs to maintain strength, function, and independence. And isn't that what we all want as we age? To remain capable, active, and engaged in life? Here's what I want you to take away from this. If you're over 60 and you've been avoiding eggs because of outdated concerns about cholesterol, it's time to reconsider. Unless your doctor has given you specific reasons to limit eggs based on your individual health conditions, incorporating them into your diet could be one of the simplest, most cost-effective ways to support muscle maintenance, heart health, and overall vitality. Start with a conversation with your healthcare provider if you have concerns, but don't let fear of a food that's been unfairly demonized rob you of its benefits. What should you do now? First, if you're not already eating eggs regularly, consider adding them to your breakfast routine 3 to 4 times per week and see how you feel. Pay attention to your energy levels, your strength, and your overall sense of well-being. Second, focus on preparation methods. Learn to enjoy eggs in different ways to keep it interesting: boiled, poached, scrambled with vegetables, in an omelet, or even added to fried rice or noodle dishes. Third, pair your eggs with other nutrient-dense foods. A breakfast of eggs with whole grain toast, avocado, and tomatoes creates a balanced meal that supports sustained energy and nutrition. Remember that eggs are just one piece of the puzzle. For optimal muscle maintenance and heart health after 60, you need adequate protein from various sources throughout the day. Regular physical activity, including both resistance training and cardiovascular exercise, sufficient sleep, stress management, and staying socially connected. But eggs can be a delicious, affordable, and convenient protein source that supports all of these goals. Most importantly, talk to your doctor about your specific situation. Bring up your concerns, discuss your diet, and get personalized recommendations. What I've shared today is general information based on current evidence, but you are unique, and your healthcare decisions should reflect your individual health status, medications, and risk factors. I hope this information has empowered you to make informed decisions about your nutrition. Growing older doesn't mean accepting weakness, frailty, or declining health as inevitable. With the right knowledge and simple actions, you can maintain your strength, protect your heart, and enjoy vibrant health for many years to come. That simple egg on your plate might just be one of the most powerful tools you have. If you found this helpful, please share it with someone you love who's over 60. Leave a comment telling me what you'd like to learn about next. Do you have questions about other foods for healthy aging? About exercise recommendations? About managing specific conditions? I'm here to help. Thank you for watching, and remember, the small choices you make every day create your future health. Make them count.